Welcome to another captivating story from the depths of Reddit. Today's tale is one of betrayal, heartbreak, and ultimate strength. Imagine discovering a tiny clue in your partner's car that unravels a web of lies. How would you handle it? Stick around, because this story will have you hooked until the very end. It started on an ordinary Tuesday evening. My wife, Rachel, had been acting a bit off for the past few weeks, distracted, a bit more distant than usual. We'd been married for 7 years, and while every relationship has its ups and downs, this felt different. Still, I'd brushed it off the stress from her demanding job at the marketing firm. That evening, Rachel told me she'd be working late again. A big campaign launch, she explained, barely meeting my eyes. She kissed me on the cheek and left in a rush, her phone clutched tightly in her hand. Something about the way she avoided eye contact gnawed at me. I told myself I was overthinking things, but as I sat alone in our quiet house, the uneasy feeling grew stronger. I'd never been the jealous type, but her sudden late nights increased secrecy, and the way she guarded her phone like a hawk didn't sit right with me. That's when I decided to do something I never thought I would. I went out to check her car. Rachel kept her car immaculate, so when I opened the glove compartment and found a small, crumpled paper bag shoved inside, it immediately caught my attention. Inside was a single condom. My stomach dropped. We hadn't used protection in years. There was no reason for this to be in her car, unless... I stood there for a long moment, staring at it as if it might reveal some kind of explanation. My heart pounded in my chest, and a mix of anger, betrayal, and heartbreak overwhelmed me. Instead of confronting her right away, I decided to gather evidence. If she was cheating, I needed proof. Over the next few days, I started paying closer attention. I noticed little things I had ignored before. The way she'd smile at her phone and quickly put it down when I walked into the room. Her vague explanations about where she'd been and how she always seemed to have an excuse for being unreachable during certain times. I installed a GPS tracker on her car, step I never thought I'd take but felt justified under the circumstances. Within a week, my worst fears were confirmed. The tracker showed she wasn't staying late at work. Instead, she was regularly driving to a small, out-of-the-way neighborhood about 20 minutes away. It didn't take long to figure out whose house it was. A coworker of hers named Greg. I wanted to explode, to confront her immediately, but I knew I had to be strategic. If I acted rashly, she could deny everything and I'd be left questioning myself. One evening, after tracking her to Greg's house again, I decided to wait outside. I parked my car a few houses down, far enough to avoid suspicion, and watched. Hours later, Rachel walked out with Greg, laughing and looking more carefree than I'd seen her in months. They kissed in the driveway before she got into her car and drove home. It was like a punch to the gut, but I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I took photos and videos from my car, hard evidence that couldn't be denied. The next day, I made an appointment with a divorce attorney. I didn't want to give her a chance to manipulate or gaslight me. When I came home that evening, I laid everything out on the table: the condom, the GPS tracker data, and the photos of her and Greg together. Rachel froze. She tried to deny it at first, stammering about how it wasn't what it looked like. But when I showed her the photos, the facade crumbled. She broke down crying, apologizing, and begging me to forgive her. I was going to end it, she sobbed. It didn't mean anything. Please, we can fix this. But there was nothing to fix. The trust was gone, shattered into a million pieces. I told her I'd already filed for divorce and asked her to pack a bag and leave. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of emotions. I was hurt, angry, and devastated, but also strangely relieved. I knew I deserved better than someone who could betray me like that. Rachel moved out, and we finalized the divorce within a few months. She tried reaching out several times, but I blocked her on everything. I needed to focus on rebuilding my life and finding peace. Looking back, I'm grateful I trusted my instincts. It wasn't easy, but exposing the truth set me free. Now, I'm moving forward, one day at a time, and I know I'll never settle for anything less than honesty and respect again. Thanks for tuning in to hear this unbelievable story of deceit and resilience. If you enjoyed this journey or have your own thoughts on the situation, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time for another story that will keep you on the edge of your seat.